Here we go. Now we're set. Started recording upside down. That's a pain to turn upside down. At least it always has been for me. Hello, it's Jules. Time for stitching. Our birds are Popeye and Sailor, and they're gonna comment on this entire stitch with me like they always do. Old World Map 2 is our project for today, and I am so excited, guys. There's a lot to talk about, but let's talk about stitching first. I worked on this piece all day yesterday. Easily the longest stretch that I've ever worked on this piece. I thought for sure I'd switch to something else after a while because I'd get tired, but no, I kept working and working and working and working, and I got so much done. Not only did I finish the piece that I started on, but I got even into a new piece. I got into a new page, I should say. Finished the page, finished this part. Here, let's bring this closer. A little closer. So I finished this part, and now I'm on this kind of general area here. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. I mean, it's ridiculous. You guys want to see how much I got done? It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Oh, that's a lot of stitching, guys. That's a lot of stitching to get done. Now, you notice that I actually, instead of starting at the top like I always do, I just extended everything across and started working on this. I figured, you know, since I was filling in all these pieces down here with these colors, why not just take all those colors that I've been working on and just bring them over here? Since I've just been stitching all these colors, I figured, well, maybe it'll go a little faster. And so far it has. I mean, I've gotten a lot filled in. I figure if I do this complicated part first and make sure that I get it all done, then I'm going to get it done faster versus if I do the easy part up here first and then come down to the complicated part. Now, let's do the complicated part first, zip up to the easy part, and get going on that. That would be awesome. And where'd the needle go? There it is. All right. I was like, I had a needle, and it went away. All right. I just got to get a little orientated here. I've got my charger plugged in because I drained my phone last night. Didn't plug it in. Got my Diet Dr. Pepper. Got my stuff. Got my massive color page, ridiculous thing here. Got my pattern. Got some stories. Got my glasses. Got my old lady glasses. They're not old lady glasses. Well, they kind of look like old lady from the 50s. The old tiny little ones. Now, where was I stitching at? Where was I stitching at? At the top. Okay, I'm right here. So let me just figure out what color I am. What color am I? Is it 841 or 3? Oh, I think it's this one. It's this 3 thing. Yes, it is. So if I did that, I got that done. And I've got that one to do, I think. I'm all confused now. I confused myself. It's hard sometimes to work on this while I'm talking. Sometimes. What I can do, so I did all that, I can just pop right up to this next section because there are stitches to be done up here on this row. Right here? Right there. Let's do it. Let's do it, kids. I got so much to tell you guys. Holy cow, what a week, what a week, what a week. I slept in this morning. It's Sunday. I slept in this morning till like 9 o'clock, which I never do. Never do. And got up, and we went to the store real quick. Husband is going to smoke this massive turkey. Nope, sorry, chicken. It's so big it looks like a turkey. This huge chicken that we just got from the same farms where we have our bees, where the bees are hanging out. Bees are doing good. 2 of the hives are almost through their first, what we call honey super, which is, it's probably about 10 pounds of honey right now. And so that's excellent news. They're doing well. They're producing. We're very happy. Definitely going to have honey. It's going to be awesome. But the chicken actually came, like, they pulled everything out, thankfully. but they left like the neck on, and they're talking about how these are, since they're free-range chickens, their legs are a lot bigger than like the normal broiler chickens you see like in a normal, like a chicken house, because they just all they don't get to move very much. These are free-range ones, so their legs are like powerful, and so it's pretty. It's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty good. Let's see. I think that's gonna be it for now for this one. Just picking up from where I stopped stitching yesterday when we went to the theater. So let's talk about the theater and the Hugh Jackman show that I went to. I'm going to talk about the theater last night first, because wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Just really wasn't. It was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I always forget which one that it actually is. I want to say it's Willy Wonka, but I think it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anyway, oh man, I didn't care for some of the ways that they modified the story. I mean, some of the individual performances were absolutely fantastic, but the kid was really good. The Charlie kid was really good. I'm gonna do a dark color. Do a nice dark color. He was really good, but Willy Wonka was not at all like. There was nothing sympathetic about the guy or anything. Like literally, he kind of came across as a businessman who had run out of ideas and who didn't want to work anymore, and who had like no ideas anymore, and it was all about making money, and who needed somebody to come along to breathe fresh life into the business, kind of a thing. And I don't know if I want to spoil anything. I don't think anybody's going to go to it that watches my show, but watches this. All right, let's do some spoilers. We'll talk about it, but we'll do spoilers. I should say we'll do spoiler alerts. Spoiler alert! So, hold on, I gotta make sure that these are horizontal dots and not, these are vertical dots, not horizontal ones. Okay, that way I don't do the wrong thing. Where am I? Gotta find my spot here. All right. There. So, there was no Squidward. In fact, I would say that Willy Wonka was kind of combination Squidward and Willy Wonka. So he had decided to open a candy store, and he just so happens to open a candy store down the road from where Charlie lives. So Charlie lives in a very poor side of town. So that means Willy Wonka just happens to like open a store in the poorest part of town, and he's all about, trying to sell chocolate bars to people and whatnot. And he comes across the idea to basically have a contest. And Charlie comes in like every day talking about, ideas for chocolate and how passionate he is about it. And, you can tell that the kid is a real, really loves it, connoisseur. And Willy Wonka kind of gives him his, I don't know, listens to him and whatnot, and obviously likes the kid, wants the kid to buy a chocolate bar. You get the impression that the guy wants this kid to kind of win the contest, but like he doesn't do anything to help him win the contest. Like he could just give him a chocolate bar, and he doesn't. Like every time he's like, "We gotta buy it. You gotta buy it. You gotta buy it." And then they changed it so that instead of his family splurging or doing this or this, I guess they did do that right. They had the part about his family. Well, his family actually couldn't buy him a chocolate bar because they were too poor. I also didn't care for Grandpa Joe very much, which was kind of sad that I didn't care for Grandpa Joe too much, but he was sort of I don't know. But anyway, it was the thing about it, I'm all confused. I'm getting all confused. How do I say this? So how do I say this? There's a person who drives or who pushes along this cart of vegetables, moldy vegetables to sell. And that's what Charlie buys, moldy vegetables for his family, because that's literally how much they can afford. And they're all happy for it and whatnot. And then when the contest comes along and everybody's buying the candy bars, the person who normally sells moldy vegetables is now selling candy bars. And that person's trying to get him to buy a candy bar, and he can't afford it. He buys moldy cabbage and all this other stuff. And then, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I get the stitching right here. There we go. He's trying to get all that done. And anyway, in the end, like, when all the kids win, all the kids are winning their things, and Charlie's, like, upset every time somebody wins it and not him. When it finally comes down to him getting his winning ticket, the way and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys can correct me on this, but the way he gets the money, or the way he gets the ticket or the thing, is that he's in Willy Wonka's store. Willy Wonka's closing up for the night. He goes in there, and they could have done this so much better. He goes in, and he helps, like, Willy Wonka gives him a broom, say, hey, well, at least do something, clean up around here. And so he starts cleaning up the floor and whatnot. And then Willy Wonka finishes and leaves. And again, talks about how, it's too bad you couldn't have gotten a candy bar and all this other stuff. As if he just doesn't care anymore that Charlie goes. And then he leaves. Oh, because he's sitting there, Charlie walks in, and he's sitting there, and he's literally counting all of his money. And you're like, well, Wonka never did that. That was not really a Wonka thing. He's counting all his money. And then he leaves, and I'm so distracted right now. I'm thinking of all the different things that were in the play. But he leaves, and then Wonka leaves. Wonka leaves the store with Charlie in it, still cleaning up. And as Charlie's cleaning up, he finds a dollar bill on the floor. Now, the thing is that if I'm cleaning up in a business, if I'm a little kid and I'm cleaning up in a business and the guy's having me push a broom around and whatnot, one of two things are going to happen. If he literally left the dollar bill on the floor, that's wrong. He should have given him the dollar. You know what? Here's $1 for helping me clean up tonight. And I wish I could sell you a chocolate bar, but I don't have any. It's sold out. You could do it that way. But he literally leaves. Charlie's cleaning up, finds a dollar bill on the floor, thinks about, like, well, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? Oh, I can buy a chocolate bar with it. And so literally, like, it's finders keepers when you find it on the street, but when you find it in the store, when you saw the store owner counting his money, you should give it back to the store owner, right? That's kind of what I would do. He goes and grabs $1, runs out of the store, goes and finds the person who sells the lady who's selling the food in the cart. And do you still have any chocolate bars? Oh no, I've sold out of all my chocolate bars. He goes, but I've got $1, I can buy a chocolate bar. And she's like, oh, well, let me take a look. And so she's rummaging through, and lo and behold, she finds the one chocolate bar. And that's the one that ends up having the golden ticket. None of that is ever, like, insinuated that there was a grand master plan. They could have done that. They could have, literally made it so that Wonka gave him $1. Sorry, kid, I can't do that. But then you see him leave, give something to the lady who sells the vegetables and the chocolate bars or whatever, so that she has a chocolate bar, so that when Charlie runs out, he can buy a chocolate bar from her. But they don't do any of that. They just, Charlie takes the money from the store, and I just had issues with it. It was just, there were so many things that were off about it that it just disappointed me. And then, I don't know. I don't even want to go into it, to be honest with you. It's just, there were some good parts about it, but there were also some parts about it that I didn't care for. The kids were horrible, just like they are in Willy Wonka. But literally in this play, the kids died. The one that chews the bubble gum, she literally blew up. And so, like, she blew up and she died. The one that the spoiled one that her daddy's rich, and this one she's a ballet. But I forgot who she is. She's kind of, I forgot how she wants one of the Oompa Loompas, or she wants one of the whatever they are. And literally in this movie, they literally rip her limb from limb for some reason, and she dies. It was almost like it was a what do they call those old Grimm Brothers fairy tales? The way that the little kids die horribly. That's really what this one was about. The kids were all dying horribly. The Mike TV in the in the movie it was, and I know there's a book for it too, but in the movie it was the kid who he watched TV all the time. He wore like cowboy stuff. In this one, the more modernized version, he does video games like all day long. But the thing is also is that his mom controls him by giving him all these medications. It wakes him up, puts him asleep, wakes him up, puts him asleep. And she literally like ties him into his chair so he can't go anywhere. So all he does is watch TV and video games all day long. And then what ends up happening to him is he goes into the TV, but when he comes out, he's this tiny little figure, and she's all excited and happy because now she truly can control him for the rest of his life. And I was like, this is just wrong. And so in the end, yeah, Charlie gets the chocolate factory, and it's amazing and all this other stuff. But the Willy Wonka character was just really not, I mean, he's funny in parts, but he's also just not a very nice guy. And I know that the Gene Wilder character had a lot of complexities to him, but I don't know. It was disappointing. It was disturbing, to be honest with you. So I don't recommend it. I do not recommend anybody's going to see that. I've got some friends that were like that want me to tell them how it was. I'm like, I'm not even going to tell them to go. It's like, don't go, guys. It's just not. I don't know. It was just not cool. And again, yes, I do get mad. It's funny. I get mad when I see something that a little change in the storytelling could make something a lot better. Just a little change. And they decide not, they just are like, we're not going to do it kind of thing. But anyway, all right. So we're done with that part. We're done with Charlie. Oh, except for we did go to the Cheesecake Factory. We haven't been to the Cheesecake Factory in forever. You almost could say it was our early anniversary gift to ourselves. We're going to be married 3 years in a couple of weeks. And so that was probably really our night out that we'll probably do for our, and it was great. I had chocolate mousse cheesecake, some delectable pork chop. It was really, 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 really good. I enjoyed it. We had a good time there. And it rained like the dickens, man. Holy cow. It was, we don't normally get like those kinds of stuff. Well, I shouldn't say we don't normally get. This summer we've been getting a lot of really bad storms, and it rained and rained and rained for quite a while downtown last night. And so it was fun, but yeah. Anyway. All right, so let's back up a few days and let's talk about Hugh Jackman. Because, I mean, come on, let's talk about Hugh Jackman. Oh man, it was fun. It was fun, but I have to say, to preface the whole thing, I'm sitting there in the middle of my, in the middle of the concert and looking around, and I'm seeing and I'm listening and I'm having a good time, and all of a sudden I'm like, now my mom's gonna laugh. I've turned into my mom, or my parents, I should say. So we all, I think most of us have probably been in a situation where when we were kids, our parents dragged us to some concert of some middle-aged person who sang older songs that I wasn't like at all enthusiastic about, and put on a cheesy show that they loved, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that was what Hugh Jackman was. And I'm like, oh my God, I finally reached that age. And oh my gosh, it was so funny. But we literally, like, we enjoyed that show a lot. We did. My husband is a big musicals fan, and I like him too, but he loved The Greatest Showman. I should love it more than I do, but I've only seen it once, even though I keep getting the song stuck in my head now. But he's also done other things. He'd done other Broadway shows before he did that movie, and There are other songs that he sang, and he's not. I mean, honestly, live, he's not a great singer. He's a good singer, and definitely when it comes to the Broadway stuff, he definitely does a better job with like the longer notes and whatnot. He does good, but in terms of just sort of singing a normal song, it's, you know, he's good. He's not great, and so. But it was enjoyable. It was just enjoyable. I mean, up and down all around, it was just a relaxing, enjoyable night. He performed, he's told a lot of really funny stories, brought people down, you know, walked into the crowd some, and I mean, it was enjoyable. And so if he's coming, I know that one of you guys out there, I think you're in Australia, and when he finishes up the tour, I'm sure he's going to finish it up in Australia. That's going to be awesome. He'll be so excited for that. But it was a good show. It was definitely worth the price of admission. It was definitely better than Willy Wonka, unfortunately. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We had pretty good seats. They had nice big whatchamacallits, screens that would zoom in, and I have some good pictures of the night. You know, you could just see a lot, and it was, you know, again, there are parts that were cheesy and whatnot, but for the most part, it was just, he seems like a really great guy. He really preached the message of inclusion and accepting people for who they are, and it was, you know, the whole thing was just really well done, and we just really enjoyed it. My husband had a big grin on his face for most of the show. He really loved it. I got to watch Greatest Showman again, and but it was really good. We really enjoyed it. Let's see, I got the songs in my head. Good stuff. Even though we were almost late for the show, it took us like an hour and 45 minutes. Last night it took us a half an hour to get down to where we needed to be. The other night it was an hour and 45. And my husband never likes to be late for anything. He wants to be really early for everything, and which is fine with me. But the traffic was so bad going down on a Wednesday night that it was tight. And thankfully, the thing that was best about it was that it didn't start exactly on time. You know, they said that, sorry, I'm just, I just gotta double check my stitching. I know I got one right here. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one, not that one, this one. They had like a DJ. There was a DJ doing songs before the show, which was fine. We were like, thank goodness. So he didn't start a show until about 7. Let's see. I think the show was at 7, and he didn't actually start until about 7:20, 7:25, which is perfect because there were a lot of us that walked in on the late side. And the crazy thing, it was pretty much sold out. It looked, I mean, they had it was at the Pepsi Center, so it's a normally seats like 16,000 people, and they had his concert stage, you know, on the end of the floor. So there were probably about 3,000 or 4,000 seats that weren't filled because they were behind the stage. But outside of that, it was full, and people of all kinds. There were little kids there. There were. And there were a lot of kids that were there for The Greatest Showman. Definitely. They were dressed up, and he would bring them up and point them out, and they were, oh man, they were adorable. And but it was pretty cool. His wife was there. He sang a song to her, and then at the end of towards the end of the song, he walks down in the crowd, and he goes over, and lo and behold, there's his wife. And I don't think she stayed. She didn't stay for the whole show, but he's definitely a family guy, and there's just a lot of, I mean, I just like the guy. He's a good dude, and like I said, I like his message. one of the, yeah. So anyway, it was just an enjoyable night altogether. But we've had 2 late nights in the last, like, 3 nights. Wednesday night, we were not home till 11. Last night, we didn't get home till 11. And, that is highly unusual for us. For those of us who are always in bed by 9, that's a lot. That's a lot of sleepiness. I know, or that's a lot of late nights. But it was worth it. I mean, even the Charlie in the Chocolate Factory show was it was fun to get out. Fun to get out. I'm still kind of dealing with, I think it's allergies now that I'm dealing with. Still coughing. Occasionally. Occasionally. Birds are excited. They're like, sing us the songs from The Greatest Show, Julie. It was great. Oh, man. Been walking and trying to get a little bit more fit by walking. Ooh, I'm getting my glasses back on. So I've been doing, I think I did that like 3 or 4 times this week. We live right up against a park. So what I've been doing is on my way home, I'll stop and actually walk. First day it was like 10 minutes. Then I walked like 15. Then Friday night I walked like 20. And we walked some last night for sure at the concert. And today it's pretty dang hot. So I might just hop on the bike instead that we have in my old husband's old spinner bike thing that he has. But I got some of these bands, which I've had like the rubber cable things before that you pull, but these are actually like super thin rubbery kind of bands that are like different tensile strengths. So you put them like around your ankles, and you can kind of, you know, pull out, or there's different ways that you can maneuver them. And they're like $15, and I'm like, I need something to kind of ramp up my leg strength, because I really need to get my legs and my back stronger. And I started using those. I was like, man, these are fun. These are easy and fun. Anyway, but that was that. Where am I? Where am I? Birds are excited today. They're talking up a storm. Finished another book. It was a book about Chernobyl, of all things. I don't know if it's how related it is to the mini-series or the movie or whatever it was that just came out on HBO. But it was just literally like a all-in-one sort of explanation of sort of, not as detailed, I think, as some others, but it was a very good one. And it was, I've been interested in it for a while. But anyway, so I finished that one. It was only like 6 hours, so it's pretty easy to finish. And then, of course, as it always happens, when I forget that I've gone in and reserved a bunch of different books from the library, they all come to me at the same time. So I literally have like 5 books right now in my Overdrive account that I've got to somehow finish, which I'm not going to, but I'm going to somehow finish most of them. And so I was like trying to figure out which one I should start. So I had that Race to Hawaii. I don't know if I talked about that in my last thing. I was going to listen to it. I just don't like it. I'm probably going to come back to it at another time, but it is... I don't know how to say it other than saying I just don't feel like it's organized very well. I feel like it jumps around too much. It's basically about the back when airplanes were starting to become a thing and they could fly farther and farther. It was about the trans-Pacific flight to Hawaii from, say, California. And I need more stuff. Let's see. I got that one done. Let me do this one. And so there were like Navy flyers, there were private flyers, and a lot of them died on that attempt. But once, and it really ended up being that it was more of the military were probably the ones that really needed to do it, because they were the ones that were going to have the most support. They had the Navy cruisers out there that would pick them up if they had to, ran out of fuel or something and crashed. The Navy, those guys could come out and grab them. They would grab anybody, but it's easier to communicate with the Navy guys. But go up here. It just was all over the place and jumping back and forth. And I had it was about a 12-hour book, and I was about 3 hours into it, and I'm like, I got other books here that I'd much rather listen to. And I actually switched over to the Chernobyl one. And ooh, feathers are flying. Feathers are flying. So I did that, finished that book, and then yesterday, so I don't know how many of you guys like Stephen King. I'm not like big time horror Stephen King, but I do want to, I did The Stand with him, and I saw The Shining. I've seen some of his movies or some of the movies based on his books, but I haven't really read very many of them. And I wanted to. I just wanted to kind of get into it and just kind of see if I liked them at all. Okay, hold on. I'm just looking. I think I got all this down here. I think I did. I think I just did all that for 2 stitches. That's okay. Let me see what the back looks like. Look how messy the back looks. Don't worry about what the back looks like, guys. Really, seriously. I mean, some of that's loose stuff that I can go back and trim back, but there's so much confetti stitching that this is just what it looks like. And I'm totally fine with it. I do not worry about such things. Stretch. Must stretch. Let's see. Let's do some. What shall we do, guys? Wait, where's my color chart? Where's my color chart? We can do some 928. There it is. It's gonna be a lot of stitching here. So, totally forgot what it was. I know I was talking about the books. So, oh yeah, so Stephen King. So his book 11, it's like 11/22/63. It's the sci-fi type book where it's alternative history where somebody goes back and they're trying to stop the Kennedy assassination. And so I was like, oh, well, that seems like a book I could get done in a reasonable amount of time. So I go to start it, and it's like 26 hours of audiobook. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. I don't think that I can do that right now. Well, at least I can't do it with that, because what also came available was, I'm going to get this wrong. The Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan is something that I have never read. I've heard lots of great things about it, just never read it. And it finally came. It's been sitting in my, my loans list for forever, waiting for it to come. And it finally came. So I'm like, all right, well, let me try this one out and just see if I can get into it and go from there. And I listened to 4 straight hours yesterday of it, and so far I really like it. It's definitely like a fantasy, just definitely a fantasy type book. I had some crazy dreams last night because of it, but so far it is very interesting, well written, and I am very eager to get back to it today and listen to it some more, listen to it a bunch more. So, yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now, Wheel of Time. And hoping that I can... Oh, hold on, I gotta figure this out. There we go. I'll probably finish it like in a week's time if I keep listening to it as much as I did today. Just listen to it whenever I can. And there's like, I don't know, tons of books with it, like 15, like it's a massive series. So I went ahead and requested the second book already because it's going to take another 7 weeks to get to me or whatever. So I'll have time to get some of the other stuff done. But I've got 19 books read this summer. Or not summer. Ooh, that'd be a lot in one summer. 19 books read so far for my yearly challenge, which my yearly challenge is only at 20 books. So I'm going to probably raise that up to 40 books maybe. I don't know. 40 books is definitely a reach considering that I'm going to be going to these longer books. Stuck in my head. But anyway, so there's that. There's that. But I'm super excited about all the progress I made today on this piece. Ridiculously excited about it. We've now reached that part of the show here where I am gonna just hum. Wimbledon's on right now. Last I looked, it appeared they were going into set 5 between Djokovic and Federer. Federer is definitely one of the greats of all time. I'm just gonna cheat and do this one this way. And clearly at his age to come back and play this well in Wimbledon. I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to see Nadal play for I don't know how many more years, and he'll play on clay and continue to do, dominate on clay. And Federer will dominate on grass, and then Djokovic will dominate on hard court. But I still maintain this. And I sound petulant when I do this. I know I do. But the thing is about old Federer is... Let me make sure I do this right. He won the first, I want to say 8 to 10 titles really before Nadal and Djokovic got good. So a lot of his victories are over guys that really weren't nearly as good as he was. And if he had started at the same, if he had gotten, in his prime at the same time that Djokovic and Nadal did, I think he wouldn't have won as many. His game is very well suited to grass, very subtle, nice spins, off speed. I still maintain that I think the best all-around player of all of them, I believe, is Djokovic. Nadal, because of injuries, kind of fell behind in that. But it's fun to watch, who wins this Grand Slam, who wins that Grand Slam, and see if they can get there. Because, with the head start that Federer got, Djokovic and Nadal are both creeping up behind him. If Djokovic managed to beat him here, I think he'll be the favorite at U.S. Open. And if he finishes the year off with 3 of 4 championships, then I think he's only going to be a few behind. He'll be right behind Nadal, which means he's only a few behind Federer. But Normally I would be watching, but I struggle. I'm struggling, guys. I'm so short-tempered. Not short-tempered. Sometimes I'm short-tempered, but it's usually when I don't have enough sleep. No, I'm so short attention span. And I'm playing video games. I'm still playing World of Warcraft. Darn thing still has me addicted. Still got to do writing. Got the new website up for work, but got to fill it in with more content. Just a lot to do, kiddos. A lot to do, which I love. I love having a lot to do. So it's nice to have a break and do some other things. But the weekend off has been nice. And again, what's really been nice is literally getting so much done on this project. I'm so excited that I have been doing this. So excited. Can't believe how much I got done. Because I finished the page yesterday at about noon. 11 o'clock. No, 11 o'clock. Because my husband got home and I'd finished this. And then I did all this in the afternoon. So I just wouldn't put it down. I can't put it down. Oh, gosh, I didn't even tell you guys. I'm going to tell you guys first, and then I'll tell everybody on the other day. So I still haven't found Dachshund. But what I've decided to do is I'm starting over. And I found, thankfully, I kept I kept the first page that I had done, thankfully. And I'm starting over. And I'm going to start over at a higher, at a larger fabric. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to get a new piece of thread floss here. That's going to need it. On 14 count, like I do everything else. But when I was looking at the pattern, it's actually, it says it's for 14 count. It literally says that. So it's going to be a larger pattern. It's going to be larger fabric. But it's, you know how much I love 14 count fabric. And I enjoy that the most. It feels the best. It works the best in my hands. I don't have to wear the magnifiers as much. Oh, man, I hope I don't need a nap on top of my ridiculously long sleep adventure I had last night. Yeah, I'm going to start over. So Christine at a stitching shop, we're friends on Facebook, and so I reached out to her yesterday. I was like, I'm going to send you an order. And she's all like, I'll be here waiting. And I'm going to go ahead and order fabric for the other new pieces that I got, just so I can go ahead and have it. Because you know me, guys. We always, the fear is that something happens and we can no longer get cross-stitch patterns. At least I'll have my patterns and my fabric, so I can always start. If I move to the boonies somewhere, I need a lot of floss if that happens. And if I get a lot of floss, I'll protect it. I'll keep it away from Bailey. Bailey the floss destroyer. Bailey, destroyer of floss. Where am I? I'm down here. Okay. Here. Here, 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 here. Here, here, here. There we go. Right here. So, I'm going to start over. I feel like that's the right thing to do. And I think it'll also help me progress faster in that piece. A lot faster. So, going to order it. Don't know if I'm going to pick it up or have her ship it to me. I might just have her just mail it to me. And I know I'm close, but honestly, I don't have a lot of time. Too much time, not enough time on my hands. And I'm reaching that age also where I don't like driving as much as I used to. I used to drive all over the place, and then with my husband driving now, driving me everywhere we need to go, I'm not a big fan of driving. I drive like 5 miles round trip from work. That's all I do. And I wouldn't mind walking some of that when the time comes, when the weather cools off. And the weather has been hot. Hot, hot, hot. Hotty toddy. Gonna be ready for be ready for fall. So let's see, it's middle of July. So we got about 6 weeks until football really kicks in. Training camp's open here very soon. Pretty excited about that. Pretty excited. Pretty excited. So my husband thinks, Marky Mark thinks, that I should do these Stitch With Me's on Twitch, where if y'all wanted to hop on, you could hop on and ask me questions or talk or whatever, we could hang out. And I could do like a longer Stitch With Me, because we have some interaction, we do some stitching, we do some talking, we do all kinds of good stuff. And then I just have to wait a day, and then I can put it up on YouTube for everybody else who doesn't want to do that. Oh, excuse me. Allergies. And I might get to that at some point here. But the problem with that is I have to do that in front of the computer. And the big computer is downstairs where all the dogs are, where the husband is, where he likes to watch TV. And I would probably shoot these on like a Sunday morning, because I could be consistent with Sunday morning, like early Sunday morning. Get up, go from like 8 to 10, 8 to 11, who knows. And stitch like that, because it has to be over before football starts in the fall. But Sunday mornings, early Sunday mornings would actually work for me. But I need to look into how to maneuver my camera, my webcam, get all that set up. But that would definitely be more, I think it would be more enjoyable for myself, hopefully for you guys. That would be fun. And get me finally twitching a little bit. Twitchy! And the birds are excited this morning, aren't they? I think they really do like it when I'm up here. I don't come up as much as I should with them. Just gotta highlight the rest of this in. Man, I got a lot done. I'm going to work on this more today. I got to tell you, I am excited about this. I want to fill this in as much as I can. I've got all these colors that I want to put in. But to be honest, I'm tired. I'm tired right now, and that's the thing. I got to work up my endurance for sitting in front of a camera for 2+ hours. That would be tough. But pretty awesome. I'll have some pictures up on the blog showing you guys like how it looked before I did this part. So it'll just be all the finished part. This is page, what page is this? This is page 14. I estimate, I think the top page might be 19. I only have like this much more. I think it goes to about here. So maybe another 4 pages beyond this one. It's definitely doable to get the top row done by the end of the year. It definitely is, especially if I keep doing things like this. So, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, I found my nail trimmers. Oh, my nail trimmers. I gotta trim my nails. But I think I'm going to end the Stitch With Me here, because I'm getting a bit of a headache with these birds, unfortunately. But also, my back and my neck from sitting in theater seats. I really don't feel too bad. I think it's because I've been walking. And as I've been walking, I've been feeling like my upper back is really straining with the walking because I'm so weak. I feel like I'm the weakest I've been in a very long time, and I feel bad about that. I feel bad for myself about that. I used to be so in shape, so I'm trying to get stronger, trying to do better, but it's all good. It's all good, guys. So yeah, when you look at this whole thing, I've done everything, and the C is, that's where I finished the page. It's like right about where the C is. So it's this part that I'm doing next. So there's all this red, which is all this red, and so that looks pretty good there. Looking pretty good. And then there's a lot of this This will go fast too, because this is like 4 colors right here. So get all this done and then come up and do this part. Or what would be even smarter, and you're going to tell me no, don't do it, but I may do it anyway, is if I finish all the bottom part and I'm all excited about finishing the bottom part, maybe just jump to the next page, do the bottom part on the next page, and then come back and do all the uppers. Because the upper stuff doesn't take me any time at all to get done, really. This whole yellow stuff right here. That's how I could get 2 pages done fairly fast. What if I could get 2 pages done, say, by the end of August, like from this point? That would be doable. 2 pages by the end of August. 2 pages by the end of August. Okay, if I tell my husband, he'll keep up with it, and he'll continually ask me, how's it going? How's it going? He keeps me on my toes. He keeps me on my stitching toes, which I don't really have stitching toes, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys, because I want to upload this since it's kind of late, go check on Wimbledon, get back downstairs, and work on some more stuff. But thank you for hanging out with me, for listening to me gripe about Willy Wonka, and talk about Hugh Jackman, because Hugh Jackman's awesome. I'm going to talk about it more when it comes time to the when it comes down time to the weekly update. Oh my gosh, good gracious, good gracious. And I got Reaper done on this so far, and Rainy Waterloo Place. So I might have gotten some baseball done. I need to pull out Apothecary Shop and get some Apothecary Shop done, because it is it's such confetti stitching. I need to gather thread for that, floss for that. So I think I'm going to work on this some more and then switch over to Apothecary Shop. And then one of you guys also reached out to me and said, you know, you should just knock out Boba Fett. And you're right. I should just knock him out. But his cross stitch, yes, I've found all the pages, organized the pages, and now I just need to do the pages. So we're good to go there. We're good to go. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Again, we're gonna make some good progress here. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm doing a better job of answering comments down below now. So leave me a question or comment if you need to, and we'll go from there. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.